love the idea of it.
I'm not kind of not into Elio's pizzas anymore. You can get a different brand though if you like.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, all right. So get whatever's on.
This
sale.
is gold.
All right, let me go. Okay.
This is gold.
Pepperoni and sausage. Oh man. Yeah, get me the pepperoni and sausage one. All right, I really have to go now. Okay. Bye.
I cannot even believe that just happened.
That's radio gold right there. That's what you call that.
Previously on Best in Show just got made right there. Not about you, Chris.
Yeah, that was really great. For a girl that's going to call the show like that, you should honestly call her during the show one day. just a thought. No, so you had your fantasy football thing you were talking about there. Terrific movie. Looks great. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it with Reggie Jackson or.
Is it live action?
Yeah, I think it's a live action.
And who's starring in it?
Don't know.
Yeah,
Didn't follow up enough.
Ocho Cinco apparently is starring in Ocho Cinco.
Sounded like Elijah Wood in there at one point.
I got to be honest. When Keith first played this for me, I'll show my football ignorance, despite being a football fan. I have no idea who Ocho Cinco is. I had no idea. Do you know?
I didn't understand half of that.
I love watching Brian the whole time.
And that's exactly what we said when he played it for me, because I was originally going to try and clean up the audio for him.
I think the fact that they mentioned Samkin Gatto and Onaz Battle is going to leave a lot of people out of the
exactly.
call.
I was thinking this is either something sports or World of Warcraft oriented, and apparently it was both.
Isn't Ocho Cinco Strahan's number or something like that?
No.
It's actually Chad Johnson from the Cincinnati Bengals calls himself Ocho Cinco because he's number 85.
I'm thinking 80. Who's 85?
And he wanted the Bengals to give him a uniform that said Ocho Cinco.
And not 85.
And they said no. No, he wanted it to be 85. Instead of Johnson, he wanted it to be Ocho Cinco.
Oh, that's great.
Well, doesn't his has to say C. Johnson, so it's a little bit annoying, right?
That's true.
He hate me.
But, yeah. So,
Rudy Johnson wanted his to say Sean Astin, ironically.
But yeah, so when he played it for me, I said, "Oh, this is great." But I'm just like, "Who the hell's Ocho Cinco?" I didn't know because, despite being a football fan, I don't buy into the hype of, I guess, of watching the Sports Center stuff after the fact, and I don't know anything about Chad Johnson. Wanted that to be his name, and then as we're going through, he's like, "So do you think people are going to be into this?" I'm just like, honestly, it's going to be great because I bet you when we look around the room when it's happening, no one's going to know who half the references are. It's terrific. I love it.
We needed our buddy James here. He would have gotten the
Yeah,
whole thing.
if he's listening to this right now, or when he's listening on the podcast, he's going to be laughing his ass off. He's going to think it's terrific.
That and the fact that Deja wasn't in the chat room today when we played it.
Boo. Awesome. Well, I'm a tremendous fan. I would go see Fantasy Football, the film. I think it's terrific.
Are you still playing fantasy football?
Yeah, of course.
Much to my chagrin.
I actually have a in the league, in the Best in Show league. I think I'm in second place. I only have 2 losses, and in my work league, I'm tied for second place. So I'm doing quite well in fantasy football this year. Then again, my running back, who's also the running back of the Miami Dolphins, Ronnie Brown, basically died 2 weeks ago, and now he's no longer going to play. So now I'm going to start losing week in and week out.
I've only won one game.
No.
Yeah. In the Best in Show League, I'm like 1-8 or 1-9.
It's kind of embarrassing.
Did you
It is
beat
embarrassing.
me? You didn't beat me. You beat me?
I came really close to beating you last week, but I didn't beat you.
Oh, sports. I'm not.
Imaginary sports.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons for jocks.
Is it imaginary or just like fantastic? Because that's what I think it is. It's all about the fantasy.
They used to call it rotisserie baseball because the first guys that made that game had this.
Were eaten.
Had this chicken that they were waiting to be done. While
they set up their first meeting at La Rotisserie, some French restaurant in Manhattan. So they called it rotisserie baseball. And then people that had a different style game came up with the name Fantasy. Why they came up with Fantasy?
That was the name of the restaurant that they.
Yeah, they actually did it at a strip club.
Yeah, fantasies. Be sure to tip the shooter, girls. I've got to be honest, but rotisserie is a different style of fantasy baseball now.
Right, that's why they came up with the alternate name Fantasy. Then rotisserie is just stockpiling stats. There's no head-to-head. There's no.
You could either do head-to-head leagues or rotisserie leagues. And rotisserie is just like you try and get the most touchdowns, yards.
If there was a talk radio rotisserie or fantasy league, which one of us do you think would be drafted first?
What you mean by skills?
Well, we're going rotisserie league. So you got to think they're going to be more. What are all the stats? What are the stat categories?
Good question.
Let's see.
I have no idea what any of this means.
We're talking about the concept of fantasy football
It's like an over-under.
is you pick guys that play the real game, and based on their statistics in the real game, you compile what they're going to be.
All right, I got that.
So, if we were to do fantasy radio or radio talk show, what would the stats be that we'd be picking people on?
I'd essentially be a kicker. I don't make much.
Oh, that's the kicker.
like I'm saying, like I mean, if the
We're comparing it to football, like you or Keith would be the quarterback?
I'm not
or
even,
No,
like
like-
not even going that. Like if one of the
What are
stats
stats?
is getting the most words in, I'm by far the first pick because I don't shut up. But I mean, like what are the stats? Like what are we compiling?
Let's see. Getting the most words in.
Okay.
What you bring week to week.
Amount of. How can we do preparation? Amount of
Time preparing.
time preparing.
You know, time put in preparing.
Chris is
ahead
looking
of
like a
time.
nice number one draft.
Pre-production.
Pre-production. Okay.
See what
Pre-production,
production stuff. Fred moves right into first in that. He's I think he might be my pick.
Well, let's come up with the stats. So how about like niceness?
Oh
I'm going first.
boy, my stock just plummeted.
Jokes. What about you? Got to go jokes.
Yeah.
Laughs.
Oh man.
I think the most valuable stat is recording after-show meetings when no one knows it's being done. Apparently, that's
That's good. We have a game here. Let's put this together. I'll get it on the website, and we'll start tabulating points. We'll start fantasy radio.
Airtime is a good stat.
Isn't this fantasy radio, by the way?
Yeah,
Aren't we doing fantasy radio?
Yeah, but now we're talking about like if we're going to score it.
Like
we have to
score,
start
yeah,
scoring
exactly.
it. And I don't mean put the music behind it. I mean we're going to start scoring it.
That's a really good idea, man. We could come up with baseball cards like football
I'm
cards.
glad that I had it, even though it was Keith's idea. But I'm glad I had that idea.
stealing ideas is a good stat.
If you had your
Oh
own
yeah,
bet-
steals and caught stealing.
Steal-
So you just
That's
caught me
good.
once.
How about like if you had your own baseball card, like
my
for
God.
the radio? What would it be? What do you think your baseball card would be? Just you sitting on a couch with a beer or something, Chris?
Is that his radio card or his life card?
What do we have? Well, no, because it's me. Like, is it? I'll have two different cards. I'll have the one of me standing in my uniform. You know, like that'll be my rookie card. But then, like when I'm my sophomore, then I'll come out like it'll be my action one where you see me like with headphones on. You know, like because don't you remember like the old Don Russ cards or it's in action said down the side like in action like me talking into a microphone. That's what I'd be really.
You know what
into.
my inaction card would be? Just me walking through the door like, hey, like with my hand up, like.
Awesome.
I used to love when I used to hate, I should say, when I would because I used to collect baseball cards.
I used to hate that. I loved it.
I used to hate that some of the pictures would be them playing, and then sometimes it would be just a close up of a guy's face smiling. Like, what was this story?
Well, hey, don't be insulting.
There's an Eddie Murray card or something. No, there's
No,
Mazzilli.
my cousin Lee Mazzilli right there, and it's just like him hanging out. Granted, he's in his batting pose.
Oh, this is even better. This is him being Tony Danza.
You should probably put it towards your camera so people could see it more.
No, I wanted them to think they were in the stands and he was on the field.
How come he's not wearing shoulder pads? Oh, that's baseball. I'm sorry. I totally wasn't even paying attention.
How come he doesn't have his skates on in that one? Yeah, that's ironically that's my cousin Lee Mazzilli. He's like my fifth cousin on my father's side, and I do not have the card because I had it when I had a conversation with my girlfriend when I first started dating her. My girlfriend, who eventually became the mother of my child and the wife of my dreams. She actually said, "I have a Lee Mazzilli baseball card." Why she had a Lee Mazzilli baseball card, I have no idea, but she handed it to me.
You know who my third or fourth cousin is?
No,
That guy right there.
Dan Marino's your fourth cousin?
Something like that. Yeah.
Bull.
My grandfather's brother is married to Marino, and
Wait, I think
Dan is her.
How have I
Nephew?
known you for 400
I told
years?
you this a million times, and you're just like, yeah, right, whatever.
Next topic.
Dan Marino's going to be on Heroes this week, by the way.
I'm gonna get him on the show, like at some point.
If you manage to get Dan Marino anywhere near my life,
Okay.
like not even on the show, I'd probably say thank you. But no, I would be. Nah, I probably wouldn't. I would ask Keith or Fred to say thank you to you.
We should make uniforms for the show. think that would be funny.
Dude, that was the original thing I wanted to do when we talked about doing shirts and stuff.
Because then Sundays I can only just wear that. I don't need to get a Sunday outfit.
I love the idea of wearing like a jersey, or even like just like the generic work.